I think the saddest people always try their hardest to make people happy. This quote was said by Robin Williams, and he would know. Some of the happiest seeming people are struggling silently, and they hide it well because society teaches us to. Productivity and keeping it together are praised, but the emotional toll is ignored. This week, we're going to break down some major myths about mental health. I'm Emma.
And I'm Ellie.
Let's dive in. So right now, as you can see, mental health is kind of trending, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like you see it everywhere in school, on TikTok, and wellness merch.
Yeah.
How like everyone's saying how like, oh, mental health is really not okay. You need to like seek help for that.
Mm-hmm.
And like counselors are always like, oh, like talk to me. Like let's talk about the stress and stuff. And like it's getting more well known, and like we've literally have a month dedicated to mental health, right?
Wait, really?
You didn't know?
No.
So
wait, that's cool. Okay, that's not cool. Okay, yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, did you actually not know? May
No.
is like mental health month, right?
Okay, that's
Mental health
good to
awareness
know.
month is May. Anyway, like we see it everywhere, right? But like awareness doesn't equal understanding the actual like mental health thing. You know, you just like, oh, I know that it's there, but I don't know what it is.
Right. But like, I mean, like, it's really hard to understand what somebody's going through, especially if you're going through something harder than what they are telling you. So
Right.
like I feel like it's just not like,
Yeah, I feel like to
obviously
some
understanding is going to be so hard to do.
Yeah, right. But like, I think some people think that just because they know that it's there, they think that they completely understand it. But I think to like, no matter how much you open up to someone, I think there's like, you'll never actually fully understand to an extent. Like you'll understand to an extent.
Yeah.
But like you won't like entirely know,
Right.
kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like if I tell you, think of depression, what are you thinking of?
Sadness.
You're thinking of sadness, right?
Or like lonely.
Yeah, like probably like a really dark room with someone in the corner crying.
Right, yeah.
And if I said anxiety, what do you think of?
Probably like getting scared of the future, or like being scared of the future.
Right. That's like what most people would think
Yeah,
of.
and like panic attacks.
Right. And like, oh, like they're just too scared to do something. And ADHD, what do you think of?
Like distraction, or like not being able to focus.
Right. You'd probably think of like some 7th grade boys in a classroom.
Trying to read their Romeo and Juliet, or their
Lord of the Flies. Because that's what our school does.
yeah.
So those are like some of the misconceptions of mental health. I'm saying you're entirely wrong if you don't.
Ow.
Anyway, so like it's often more like quieter and more like internal and misdiagnosed, especially in girls.
I mean, I see that being like that, because I mean, girls like don't like to be very well. Most normal girls wouldn't want to draw attention to themselves, so they wouldn't like, I feel like they would not tell people when they are struggling or when they are having a hard time.
And like one of the main reasons is because most people blame it on just hormones, stuff like that, because like, oh, you're just hormonal or you're just emotional,
You're just growing up.
yeah, like, so that's usually why girls are diagnosed like years later than boys are. So 1 in 5 teens struggle with the mental health condition, but 50% of them never get help because they think how they feel is normal, which kind of relates back to how like mental health is now like trending and people are normalizing it, and they're saying, oh, you have depression, that's completely normal. Oh, you have like severe anxiety, that's completely normal. So like most of them don't get help because they're like, oh, it's normal, like it's supposed to happen, right? So that's why this episode matters, because misunderstanding can lead to mislabeling, ignoring, and shame. So let's debunk our first myth. Our first myth is anxiety just means being stressed out, which is what you kind of said earlier, with like panic attacks, being like scared of the future, stuff like that. But there are like different types of anxiety, and GAD, or generalized anxiety disorder, is the one I'm going to be talking about, which is basically like constant worrying, but like it's not always tied to specific events. Like, sure, it can be like, oh, you have a test coming up, and you'd have like, oh, I'm so scared. Like, that's kind of like what...
Not exactly.
Like,
That's
not
like
exactly,
paranoid, but not like anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like anxiety is like a...
It's like
It's
always
like,
there.
yeah. Like, I know somebody who was diagnosed with anxiety, and it definitely affects the way she acts, and it honestly has me worried too. But, you know.
Yeah. It's basically like... Because I knew someone who doesn't go here, but she's in my neighborhood, and she's like always organized. Like, if I ask her for help, she always has like everything color coded. Like, she's basically like really, really organized with her. Like, her life is completely like organized, it's sorted, it's like fine. But like, she can't like relax. She's like the type to think that like, even though everything's like completely normal, you still think something's going to happen, like something's gonna go wrong. And so it's like she's always like just like really worried, which is like kind of what anxiety is.
Yeah.
On like a really like basic explanation. And the second myth is, if your life's good, you can't be depressed. So this is kind of like, sometimes this goes unnoticed, mainly because on the outside people seem completely normal. So productive depression, or high functioning depression, is basically like, on the outside someone has straight A's, they have amazing extracurriculars, but like on the inside they're like completely numb, they're empty, and usually they cope with it by overachieving or like smiling while drowning, you know. And so it's basically how, like, for example, if someone has straight A's, has like literally an acceptance letter to Harvard, went to the Olympics, you'd probably think this person is doing really well in life, right?
Yeah, really happy.
Really happy, but like, that's not always the case. Sometimes it is. I'm not saying that every single person who's like overachieving has depression, but I'm saying like some people, for example myself, do kind of suffer from it. Like, my personal experience is that, like, what do you think of me? When you, like, think of me, do you think, like, I'm the type to be so depressed, crying in a hoodie, and, like,
no,
wallowing in
I think
sadness?
since I know your story, I know that, like, it's hard, but you also, like, keep yourself alive and make yourself, like, alive for other people as well.
Right, but, like, if it was from, like, a spectator point of view, if someone passed...
No, I think you definitely hide your... What's the word? I don't want to say depression. But, like, you hide your sadness, and if you're, like, talking to people who, like, don't know your story, you, like, don't, like, show them that you have it.
That's what I strive to do, actually. I try to make sure people don't know. Because, like, you know, there's always that, like, background fear that people are gonna, like, treat you weird, because it'd be like, or they just like don't care, which I guess is like, personally I feel like if I told them I had like depression and they just didn't care, I feel like that'd be better than them like
trying to help you
and like
trying to make you
not.
Yeah, like, I just want somebody to listen to me with my worries.
Right.
Like, I don't need them to try to help me.
Right, it's like, let me wallow in my sadness. Not
Yeah.
really. This is different for everybody. This is just me personally. But like, that's just like kind of how high functioning depression works. Which is basically like, someone's smiling, someone's really cheerful, someone's really energetic, straight A's, lots of extracurriculars, probably has like several Ivy Leagues lined up and ready to take them in, right? But like, sometimes that's not a good thing. Sometimes it's like symptoms. Keyword sometimes, because not like all people who are
it's
like
not
this,
always like this.
it's not always like that.
Yeah, I actually just wanted to say that, like, I'm not bragging right now, but like, I'm just saying, like, oh yeah, I have good grades, I have a lot of extracurriculars, and I'm decent at all of them, above average, you could say. But like sometimes when I get into an argument with my mom about what I want to continue with my extracurriculars, she like ends up asking me like, oh, what do you want to do? And then like in those moments I just realized that like I'm honestly not really interested in anything. Like nothing I do like actually makes me happy, because the amount of like stress I've gotten from it, the amount of like damage it caused me, it just makes me like not want to do it anymore. But I can't just give that up, and I don't, and because of that I just don't know what to quit. So now it's like I'm continuing to do so many things and I don't know what to do anymore.
Right, like I can definitely relate to that. Because like I had like lots of extracurriculars growing up, and I've quit most of them, and it's really strange because like swimming is like was and still is like a huge part of my life, and it's like it's not because like, but like I like the sport, I just don't like doing it. But like my parents are like, oh, you're so like, you know.
Yeah.
Let's move away from this topic. So when I mentioned earlier and I asked you about ADHD, you said like people who aren't like focused, they're like really hyper, they're just like distracted, right? There's a different type of ADHD that's like more common in girls, which is inattentive ADHD, which like basically is like daydreaming, forgetfulness, and like time blindness. Like if you saw someone who daydreamed, was kind of forgetful, and had time blindness, what would you think of them?
They're just forgetful. Like I wouldn't think they have like some kind of disorder.
You would just think like they're maybe like a little lazy,
clumsy. Yeah.
And this is most common in girls, and girls are often mislabeled as just lazy or emotional, which kind of relates back to like why girls get diagnosed like years later than boys. Because in boys, it's what you typically expect of ADHD. It's like really hyper, they're bouncing off walls kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But with girls, it's like really different. And you might have heard that like you can't have multiple conditions. Like if you have depression, you can't have ADHD. Or like if you have ADHD, you can't have like anxiety or something. But that's like not true.
Yeah, I actually know somebody who was diagnosed with like anxiety, depression, and ADHD like all in one, and I was like, how do you manage that, man?
Yeah, because like most mental health like comes not by itself. Like it comes with another thing. Like depression usually comes with anxiety, and like ADHD often comes with anxiety. And like it's really common for one diagnosis to mask the other. Like for example, with girls, okay, like most people blame it on hormones, which is why like they'll be like, oh, you're just hormonal, you're just emotional, you know, that's what like they think. And normally because of that mislabeling and misdiagnosis, most girls just don't get help till like years later until they realize, oh, I actually have something that's wrong. Like it isn't just hormones and stuff. Right? So like high functioning people often don't look mentally ill, so they're ignored. Like high functioning depression, high functioning anxiety, like they don't look ill to like the naked eye or to the human eye, to society. And many aren't diagnosed until college or later because masking is rewarded by society.
Right.
It's like society is teaching us that if you have depression or anxiety, you're not okay. Like you're not normal. Right? And like,
I mean, it is technically true, but it's like it shouldn't be treated in a way that it's like, oh, this is bad that you're not normal. Like, I mean, I know it's like bad that you have it and that like you would probably want to get treated if you could, but like telling somebody that they're like different in a bad way because they have this disorder or this mental illness is like just so wrong. Yeah,
because like some people believe that going to therapy is for like people who are like
mentally unstable.
Yeah, like like crazy, like should be like
asylum.
Yeah, like should be in like solitary confinement or something. but that's not true. Like, if you need to go to therapy, go to therapy. And, like,
Right.
I feel like you said, society, like, technically mental disorders, like, aren't normal, but, like, society says it in a way that, like,
Makes them just feel worse
like,
about
you
themselves.
should be exiled, like,
Right.
killed off, burned at the stake, you know?
Like, they're already going through a hard time. You don't need to make them, like,
Right.
feel even worse about what they're going through.
Right. And, like, perfectionism and pressure from, like, peer pressure, family pressure, school pressure often equals, like, a quiet collapse. Like, no one's gonna see it, but it does happen,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like, oh my gosh, you know the JoJo Siwa song? What was it?
No, I don't know.
When a tree falls in the forest, no one hears it. Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's so many people around. If one person just, like disappears, quote-unquote disappears, no one's really gonna notice.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's kind of how, like, it's kind of related to drowning. I don't want to say it's, like, drowning, but, like, when you're drowning, you can't make noise. Like,
Yeah.
it's impossible for
Like,
you
you
to
can only trust
speak.
that people will see you, like, flailing around.
But, like, that's kind of similar. I don't want to, like, relate it directly, but it's, like, how, like, mental health is more, like, quiet, more, like, internal. And it's not like, oh my god, look at me, I have depression, and, like, I'm crying, so, like, obviously I have
Yeah.
depression. Like, no one's gonna do that. No one's gonna be, like, purposely gonna go around parading the fact that they have depression and anxiety.
Right. I mean, like, I don't want to say this in a mean way, but, like, it gets to a point.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
like, it's understandable if you have a mental illness or if you have, like, depression or something, but, like, thinking you're better than somebody because you have it is honestly just unnecessary. And, like, thinking, like, oh, I have to go to therapy, I'm, like, different. Like, yes, you are different, and it's good that nobody's treating you in a bad way, but, like, making yourself arrogant about it because you have to do these things is not the best way to go.
Right, and often it just leads to more not goodness.
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, there is this one girl that I knew, and in elementary too, like, she was parading around the fact that she had, like, depression and anxiety. She had ADHD. She didn't even have depression. She had ADHD, which was, like, she had ADHD and, like, anxiety or something. And she would just go around, and, like, when teachers would tell her, like, oh, you actually have to, like, focus, she'd be like, oh no, I have ADHD, I can't do that.
Yeah, like, maybe
It
don't
gets
use
to
it
a
to your
point.
advantage.
Yeah,
like we know that you're struggling and we understand that you're struggling and we accept you for that, but, like,
yeah, and we, like,
don't use it to your advantage.
right. Like, it's not something that you should use in that way.
Yeah.
Right. So, let's talk science. Everyone's favorite subject in school. It's not, at least, but it's my favorite. Yeah. So ADHD, especially in girls, is often, like, overlooked without the hyperactivity, right? Like, if someone's not hyper, you're gonna be like, okay, that person doesn't have ADHD, right? And if they say they do, they're lying.
Yeah, they just
obviously.
want attention or something.
Yeah. And, like, some of the symptoms include zoning out, forgetfulness, emotional, overwhelming. That just sounds like normal stuff. Sounds like zoning out, oh, you're probably just bored. Forgetful, you're just forgetful. Like, you need
Right,
to, like,
yeah.
walk in.
Jeans or something.
And emotional, overwhelming, be like, oh, you're just way too emotional. Like,
Yeah.
it's there's always, like, an excuse.
You're just dramatic.
Or, like, exactly, like, you're dramatic. Like, that term, that hurts. And it's commonly misdiagnosed as anxiety, depression, or quote-unquote just hormones, especially in girls. And, like, I can see why, but, like, it's often misdiagnosed and mislabeled to a point that's, like, it's just, like,
It's crazy.
it's insane how long it takes to finally get the actual diagnosis. So let's talk types of depression. I'm gonna bring up 3 types.
Mm-hmm.
Major depressive disorder, high functioning, or as some people know, smiling depression, and persistent depressive disorder. So major depressive disorder is your classic sadness, apathy, low energy type of depression. It's like what you would normally think of, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think of someone who's like kind of lazy, always sad, always low energy, no matter like how much sleep, like how many hours of sleep they get each night.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what like major depressive disorder is.
Mm-hmm.
In like a very basic terms. Like obviously it's like much more deep. It's not just, oh, you're just lazy.
Right.
It's like to a very basic definition.
Mm-hmm.
In high functioning depression that I have mentioned before, but it's basically like you look fine on the inside, but you're like numb and you're just like a black hole on the inside. I actually don't want to relate it to that, but like it's just like you're breaking on the inside when you look perfectly fine. And persistent depressive disorder is low grade and long-term sadness. Like it's there, but like you can still like function, and it usually lasts like years. Like it's like very long-term, and it's just like always, it's very low grade. Like it's there, but like you can persist. Like it's like you can ignore it to an extent, but it's just like always there.
Yeah. I don't know who told me this, but like some time ago, somebody told me that like J.K. Rowling, she was going through depression when she was writing Harry Potter. So that's like where the Soul Eaters came from. Is that what they're called?
The what?
The Soul Eaters?
Oh, the Death Eaters?
The Death Eaters!
Death Eaters. Oh, okay.
Sorry, guys, I'm not a Harry Potter fan. Yeah, like,
sense.
she was, like, going through depression while she was writing it, and that's why she was, like, sucking the soul out of them, and I thought it was just really sad.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now that I hear it. Because, like, a kiss from a Death Eater is, like, once you have it, it's just, like,
right.
gone.
Yeah.
That's so sad. Oh, my God. That's actually really sad. I'm thinking about it now. That's really sad. Okay, so on the anxiety spectrum, we have generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD, that I mentioned earlier. Panic disorder, and social anxiety, which I'm sure some of us have. Yes. Yes, Ellie, you do. So GAD is constant background worry, which I mentioned before. It's just always there. Everything's going well, but you think something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah, like just like at any moment you just think something's like, oh my
like,
god,
too
something's
good
gonna
to
go
be
wrong.
true, you know?
Right.
Like, yeah. And panic disorder, you mentioned earlier, is more like sudden physical attacks that mimic heart problems. Like they don't always relate to like a specific like time or like specific thing. Like for example, if there's a test or like a giant thing that this person feels is like really like scary or like really something that deserves a lot of worry, they're probably going to go into a panic attack thinking about it. But it's not always the case. Sometimes it's just really sudden.
Yeah. And
panic disorder is kind of like just really sudden, can mimic like heart attacks, or like if your heart gets like beats really fast, kind of like that. It just mimics like a lot of cardiac problems. And sometimes it goes misdiagnosed.
Do you know if it's like actually related to like heart problems, or is it just because of anxiety? Like
I can't look that up.
Because I mean, like maybe you should get your cardiac stuff checked out if you're struggling from panic disorder.
Okay. So panic attacks can mimic heart attack symptoms like chest pain and a rapid heartbeat, but they do not cause lasting heart damage in healthy individuals. But like if you already have a heart condition, and anxiety and panic can like worsen the symptoms.
Yeah. And
like potentially trigger a cardiac event.
Yikes.
And it's like it's difficult to tell. It's difficult to like tell them apart too. Like it's difficult to tell like whether you're having a panic attack or an actual cardiac like problem or like condition, you know? Like Heart attack symptoms can include like pressure and like squeezing, pain radiating from like the arm, jaw, or neck, whatever. But like because of the overlaps like in symptoms and potential for serious cardiac issues, it's important that you seek out immediate medical attention for like any chest pain that lasts more than a few minutes. Especially if it's accompanied by like sweating or nausea. Like,
Okay.
please do. Okay, social anxiety. What do you think of social anxiety?
Well, I do have friends that are actually diagnosed with social anxiety, so I know that it's like not just being shy or whatever, but it's like having that feeling that whoever you meet or like whoever you talk to just like suddenly hates you. Like not like that like dramatic, but it's just like the feeling that like they just do not like you the moment you meet them.
Basically what you just said. Like, it's not shyness. Like, if you're shy, but it's not social anxiety. Like, it's the fear of judgment that stops daily life. Like, it's basically like other phobias. Like, for example, I have a fear of failure. Like, it's actually crazy.
Okay, Emma.
I'm being so for real right now. I don't know how to pronounce it though. I keep forgetting. But it's like I'll go out of my way to avoid that as much as possible. And like if I know, like I'll study for so much for a test that's just pass fail. Like I'm just like I'll spend 5 hours, not 5 hours, but like a lot of time studying for like a little quiz that's worth like 2% of my grade. Because I just cannot deal with the fact of seeing that F on my paper. Like, I just can't function knowing that I failed something.
Right. I
It's
mean,
like...
sorry, what?
No, you can...
Okay, I mean, like, honestly, I feel like for me, I also feel the same way, but, like, another factor that goes into not, like, literally, like, hating seeing an F on my paper is also my parents.
Right.
Like, if my parents see that I got an F on something, like they would actually freak out, and I feel like that just makes the situation 10 times worse.
Right. And honestly, like, it's so frustrating because like I'm trying my best, but my best is never enough.
Right.
And so like I can't, like every single time I know there's a test, I study so much for it. And like when that grade dips even just like slightly, I'm always like I'm constantly checking my grade to make sure it isn't lower than a 90. Which is like crazy now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But like back to social anxiety.
Wait, hold on. Break time. We're talking about phobias, and I just remembered that like there's this one phobia that's the fear of long words.
Oh,
And like the word
like a
itself
long
is like
word.
36 letters long.
What is it? Like
Hippopotomonstroses squipedaliophobia.
Hippomonstrose.
Squipedaliophobia. I just think it's really funny because like imagine you're at the doctors or something, and you're like getting tested for like the different phobias you have, and they
Oh my
test you
God.
for this phobia, and they're like, and they come back with the results, and you're like, oh yeah, what's up, doc? Did you find out my results? And like, oh yeah, we did find out that you have hippopotomonstroses, and they like freak out because it's a long word.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's so funny.
But it's like not funny.
Like the irony is like crazy.
Oh, and there's like this really long lake name. It's just like it's a lake in Massachusetts. It's Lake Chongbanong.
Oh yeah.
But it's so funny to me. Like imagine just being like, oh, where do you live? Oh, I live by Lake Chongbanong, whatever.
Like whoever comes up with these names are just like they're like genius. They're like
I know, but like basically back to social anxiety. It's like the fear of judgment just like stops daily life. Like you are so scared of judgment that you're just not gonna meet anyone else. Like you're just gonna be like, if I talk to this person,
they're definitely gonna hate me.
They
No doubt about it.
Yeah, that it's like it gets to a point where you like just stop trying in general. You just like stick to your people, where you just like live in isolation.
Yeah.
Which can lead to like depression and other
Yeah,
types
exactly.
of mental health. Which is why you should go get checked out. All right. Now, if you go to a doctor and they tell you you have this thing, they'll probably recommend you medicine and treatment.
Yep.
Right. So that's what we're gonna talk about. Whoa. So misdiagnosis equals mistreatment. So that's why we're gonna like talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because labels matter, and treatment is tailored to the person. So one thing that you might go to is therapy, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, DBT or dialectical behavioral therapy, and exposure therapy. So CBT, which is what we're going to be calling that for the sake of my sanity, it reframes thought patterns. So like when you think of cognitive behavioral therapy, what do you think of?
So unfortunately, my vocabulary is not the best. So cognitive, I have absolutely no idea.
Didn't do your membeing today?
Actually, no.
Yeah, I need to do that. Okay, so CBT is a form of like psychotherapy, which like helps people change negative or like unhelpful thinking patterns and behaviors into to like improve mood and cope with life challenges. You know, it's like
So it's like getting rid of the old habits and like
it's like
putting new
reframing
paths on there.
You know those things that are like, oh, like fixed mindset and open mindset. It's like instead of I can't do this, think of I can do this. It's kind of like that, like or like. It's like, I don't know this.
I mean, isn't that like the reason why schools do that anyway? Just so like, because like they know that like a lot of people are struggling, so they just like want to put the CBT in there so that like, even though you don't have it, they just like help it anyway.
Right. And so that's kind of what CBT is, and DBT is helpful for emotional like regulation. It's a type of evidence-based psychotherapy that focuses on helping individuals like manage intense emotions, improve like interpersonal relationships, and reduce self-harm and suicidal behaviors. So that's what DBT is for. Like it's supposed to help regulate your emotions. And exposure therapy is more like exposure therapy, you know how like if you have an allergy, they'll give you like exposure like quietly. They'll like, oh, give you this amount, and like slowly you'll build up and you'll like just stop having the allergy. And that's kind of the same thing for like phobias and anxiety. You know?
So they're like slowly like introducing you to like greater and greater versions of your phobia, so you can get used to the smaller version and then keep going until it's like doesn't bother you anymore.
And you like just don't care. Exposure therapy is like a type of CBT, and that like gradually exposes the individual to like their feared stimuli in a safe and controlled environment. And the goal is to help them overcome their anxieties and phobias by reducing their avoidance behaviors and increasing their tolerance to distressing situations. And another thing your doctor will recommend to you, medication.
Yeah, I think this is the more severe one.
Yeah. So SSRIs like Prozac and Zoloft regulate serotonin, and it's often for depression and anxiety, and it works by increasing the levels of serotonin in the brain, which is a neurotransmitter that helps regulate mood. And they achieve this by selectively blocking like the reabsorption or like reuptake of serotonin into the nerve cells that released it, which like leaves more serotonin active in the brain to help improve communication between brain cells and other symptoms of depression and anxiety. So another thing is stimulants, which is like Adderall and stuff. So it improves focus in ADHD. And it does this by increasing levels of brain chemicals called dopamine and norepinephrine, which allows neurons to communicate better. And this leads to improved attention focus, motivation, and executive function, like memory, decision making, while reducing impulsivity and hyperactivity.
Isn't that like the one? Yeah, okay, AD. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, ADHD.
So like the one ADHD. Okay.
Yes, and like stimulants provide a calming effect for people with ADHD by making activities feel more rewarding and helping them control distracting impulses. However, if your body doesn't tolerate stimulants, we have non-stimulants, which is an alternative for ADHD, especially if stimulants aren't tolerated by your body. So they also improve attention and reduce impulsivity and hyperactivity by affecting different brain chemicals, which are crucial for like executive functions like concentration, mood, and self-control. And they work basically like stimulants, but they're just like alternatives, like if you can't take it.
Yeah.
And these medications are often used as an alternative for those who cannot tolerate stimulants and who don't respond well to stimulants, or as supplementary treatment. Benzodiazepines. I'm just going to refer to them as benzos because that's what they're often called, are fast-acting but short-term for panic and not for long-term use. Benzos enhance the activity of GABA, which is gamma anaboretic acid, which is the brain's main inhibitory neurotransmitter. GABA's job is to calm down nerve activity, basically acting as a brake on the nervous system. By binding GABA A receptors, benzos make GABA more effective, allowing more chloride ions to enter the neurons. My bad. This hyperpolarizes the neurons, making them less likely to fire, which leads to a calming effect on the brain. And this works for anxiety reduction because it slows neural activity, and benzos help reduce feelings of fear or worry. And they help with sleep because they can cause drowsiness and help with sleep. And they relax overactive muscle signals to help with muscle relaxation. And they stabilize neuronal activity, and they can prevent seizures, actually. And benzos can impair short-term memory and slow cognitive processes.
Wait, so
like memory and cognition.
So like honestly, like, is this an over-the-counter medication?
Why?
Well, because like I feel like it'd be really useful for people even if they don't have like depression or anxiety.
They are not, because it's not for long-term use. Like it's for short-term.
Okay.
Like it will like affect your brain. Like it literally slows down central nervous system. And like it needs to be like tightly regulated, or else it like actually have a serious effect. Like it works, but it's like also like just short term. Like you can't use
It's like
it for too
really
long.
strong.
It's really effective.
Okay.
So a side note is that we're gonna talk about medication controversies and stigma. So the stigma around meds is people saying you don't really need it or just tough it out. And some fear that meds are there for weak or the broken. They're like, yeah. And truth is, taking meds for your brain is no different than taking insulin for diabetes.
Yeah.
Like if you have diabetes, you need insulin
In order to
like
function and live.
Yeah, and like taking medication for your brain is basically the same thing, because like you need those to help you function, to help you like focus. You know, and like your brain is an organ. In fact, it is the most important organ in your entire body. Okay, and if you had
Controversy.
okay.
The heart is more important.
Okay, but like your brain helps control it.
Okay, but like the heart is like what is pumping blood to your brain, which makes it alive. Because your blood is an involuntary muscle. Like it doesn't actually like.
This actually helps prove my next point. My next point
Oh crap!
is that because your brain is an organ, right? It's really important. If it was your heart and you had cardiac like events and stuff, no one's gonna tell you just tough it out. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You're suffering cardiac arrest. Just tough it out. You'll be fine.
Yeah, nobody's gonna say that.
Like your brain's an organ and it should be treated like you treat your heart. Okay, like if you have cardiac arrest, no one's gonna be like, you don't need to go to the hospital. You'll be fine. Just like tough it out. You'll figure it out. no one's gonna tell you that.
Yeah.
It's just, well, like, it's the same thing for your brain. If you have mental illness, no one's gonna be like, "Ah, okay, well, people do, but like, you shouldn't." You're not gonna just tough it out. Don't listen to them.
Yeah.
Like, please do not listen to them.
Like, if you're diagnosed with something, like, take the medicine that you need.
Yeah, like, please take the medicine. And some critics argue that ADHD meds and antidepressants are like overprescribed, especially to children. But like this is sometimes true, but underdiagnosis is just as common, especially in girls and minorities. And misdiagnosis, which is like giving the wrong label and treatment, is often a bigger issue than too much medication. No. Like, yeah, it's much bigger issue than too much medication to like little kids, because often they need that medication.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to deny someone with diabetes their insulin
Right.
because you take it too often. Like, they need
Like,
that.
that's the point of it.
Yeah, they like
Like, why else would they have it?
exactly, like, they need it. No one's going to tell you, like, if you have, for example, if you're at the like if you're like unstable, you're like in a coma, no one's gonna be like, just stop your life support. They take it too often.
Like,
It's keeping
like, what
them
do you
alive.
mean?
Like, that's
Like, do you hear yourself?
like, I can see what they're thinking, but like, also it doesn't
Just let
make
them be
sense.
them. Like,
Right. Just they need it to survive. Do not deny them of it. So I'm not going to say that all medication is amazing and that it works right away, but because all medication have their side effects. For SSRIs, they can cause sleep issues, nausea, or emotional flatness at first. Like, give your body some time to like adapt and like adjust to this medication.
yeah.
And if it doesn't work, tell your doctor. Do not keep taking that shit if it doesn't work. Like, it's not going to be helpful for you. And stimulants, they may affect your appetite, sleep, or like raise anxiety, but like just give your body some time to adapt.
Yeah.
Trial and error is normal. Like, I can't stress this enough. Give your body some time to adjust. Meds are personalized and not a one-size-fits-all. It's not like a glove where like, oh, this one size can fit all people. That is not true. Meds are tailored and treatments are tailored to the specific person. Which is literally why we have non-stimulants, because some people can't tolerate stimulants.
Right. You need to give multiple options.
Yeah. Some people distrust medication because of how pharmaceutical companies profit. And an important distinction is that shady marketing exists, but that doesn't mean the meds themselves don't work.
Right.
Like, don't buy it off from a shady guy named John in the alleyway. Like, don't buy it off the dark web. But like, if your child or you needs it, they need
Like,
it.
yeah, like, go
Like,
get
it's-
it. Like,
It's not, we're not joking. It's not April 1st. Like, they need that.
yeah.
Like, no matter how much you hate pharmaceutical companies, like how they make money, but like,
But, like, there's a reason why you're
there's
getting
a
it.
reason why.
Like, if your doctor just prescribed it to you, go get it.
Yeah, like, it's not something that you should be prioritizing more. And like, do you know how pharmaceutical companies profit? Okay, you should have just.
I'm not interested in business.
Oh yeah, well,
Well, don't they just
I'm
like
not
say
either.
like even like if you don't need it or whatever, they'll still tell you like, oh, you should go get this, so they can like make more money off of it.
because they could get sued for that. I think. I don't know. I'm not.
Or like
entirely sure.
if you're like diagnosed with something, but they're like, oh, you should get like multiple of this so they can sell more.
Well, I think it's because like they set really high prices on like branded drugs, like drugs that like people know, and it's like really like name brand kind of, which like grants them like a temporary monopoly and allows them to like charge significantly more for their than their production costs.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they make money. And honestly, if you hate that, like I see how like
I see your thought process,
I see your
but like
thought process, but
not your biggest priority right now.
right. And with doctors prescribing responsibly and patients monitoring their symptoms, this is like the key safeguard.
Right.
Like, as long as you do that, you're fine. You're
Mm-hmm.
completely fine.
Like, the doctors know what they're doing. They went to med school
Yes.
for 8 years.
Right.
Like, I think if they weren't willing to spend 8 years of their life going to get their
To
degree,
like help you. To, like,
Right,
they're
then-
there to help you.
then
and-
I don't know what they're doing with their lives.
But like, obviously, you have like a responsibility in this as well. You need to like monitor your symptoms and tell your doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are not a doctor. As much as you would like to think your home remedies work, they don't. They don't work as well as actual medication, which is why you definitely need to call your doctor if something
Yeah.
happens. Medication is like glasses. You would know. You wouldn't call someone weak for wearing them, right? They don't change who you are. They just help your brain function the way it's supposed to or like meant to, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you saw someone with glasses, you're not gonna be like, ha, they're so stupid, they're so dumb for wearing that, they're so weak for wearing that.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna do that. They need it, bro.
Yeah.
And some important notes is medication are not happy pills. They rebalance brain chemistry, but they do not erase emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Trial and error is very common. I cannot stress this enough. Like, finding the right dose and type takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not gonna be like, oh, it's like a hole in one. Okay, it's
Yeah.
Trial.
I mean, that's almost anything. You're not
Yeah,
you're
honestly.
almost never gonna get anything on the first try. So
right. So you need to like don't give up. Like it's gonna like
like if you don't think it works, go tell your doctor. They can find something else for you.
right. Like if you don't respond well to stimulants, tell your doctor.
That's the
he'll
point
give
of
you
non-stimulants, yeah.
Right. And therapy and medication often work best together. Like your brain is a car engine. Therapy teaches you to drive better, and medication gives you the right fuel. You usually need both. I'm not saying that like
You can't
this
do it
is
without
you.
it.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can't have like you can't just have medication or you can't just have therapy, but I'm saying that like scientifically both working together does help more than one or the other. Let's debate. But like really short.
Yeah.
Do you think people use the term depression too casually, or does it like help normalize it?
I feel like nowadays I feel like mental health has just been getting a lot worse. So like depression isn't really used like too casually. I feel like it is necessary to use because people overall are just getting more depressed, and mental health is honestly just declining overall as our world goes on. But like, I mean, because you're not going to say everybody has depression,
Right.
but like you would say that like some people have it, and like it's not used to. I don't think it's used too casually.
Yeah, I think it like does help normalize it, but like it's also that like people think it's too normal. Like
Yeah.
they think like, oh, that's depression. I don't need help. That's normal. Everyone experiences it,
Right.
which like isn't true.
Mm-hmm.
Is society actually improving or just rebranding stigma with mental breakdown core aesthetics?
I don't understand this question.
Like, do you think society is actually improving to like understand people with mental health, or do you think it's just like, oh, mental breakdown core, like?
Well, I feel like at this point, like doctors can just sense that you have depression. They're like, oh yeah, go get this or whatever, and like go to therapy or whatever. Because like probably like a lot in the older times or whatever, like maybe in the 1900s or something,
The olden days.
it would be like more rare to like
Right.
have to go through this. So like it's kind of like I feel like it's just like I don't know.
Like I don't know either. Like, I feel like there's like a lot of depth into it. Like, but I don't want to spend an hour discussing.
Right.
This. So you mentioned earlier how like you shouldn't call someone dramatic, because like if you were to explain to someone I have depression, and someone says you're just being dramatic, like
That's just so bad. Like,
that hurts. But do you think it's ever fair to like call someone dramatic?
I mean, honestly, it really just depends on the person who's calling you dramatic, because like to some people, they obviously don't have to go through what you're going through, so they would think that it's like bad or something, or like they would just say like, oh, you're probably just being dramatic or something. But then like on the other hand, there can also be people who are experiencing worse than you, and they would probably say like, oh no, I understand where you're coming from, but like this is not as bad as me, unless they're like a good person and they would say like, no, I understand or something. This has nothing to do with dramatic. But like
Sympathy versus empathy.
yeah. But like, you really wouldn't just call somebody dramatic. Like, dramatic
Right.
is just too like overused, and like
Right,
dramatic
right.
is like such like a very vague like version of what you're trying to tell them.
Yeah, like dramatic to the person saying it doesn't seem like it hurts, but to the person receiving it, that's like
It's like, oh, your entire life is a lie.
yeah,
You're like overreacting for no reason.
Just like bottle it back up again.
Right.
I feel like it gets to a point though. Like if you're
Like sometimes you can actually be dramatic.
Yeah, actually
Like, do you ever like, this is going to be really mean, but do you ever like look at somebody who like has a mental illness, but you're like, okay, but like, is it really that bad? Like this, I'm so mean for this, but like sometimes I just look at people who like are diagnosed and they like have like an illness, but I'm just like it gets to a point.
right.
But I also like understand that like people are actually like going
Right.
through these things that like I need to understand.
Right. So let's do some closing thoughts and we'll let you guys leave. So your brain is an organ. If it were your heart, no one would say just be strong. Just
Yeah.
tough it out. Just tough out a cardiac arrest. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
High functioning illness is still an illness. And I think you should like try to challenge internalized myths and seek help without shame. So let's do a quick invisible illness roundup. This is gonna be like a really quick explainer. High functioning depression looks fine but burning out quickly. Inattentive ADHD, not lazy, just drowning in her own head. Panic attack, brain thinks you're dying even when you're safe. Comorbid conditions, mental illnesses rarely travel alone.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like high functioning depression is more like when you get a paper cut, you're like, oh, it's fine, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not a big deal. But like, if you get 1,000 of them,
It like actually starts to get bad.
Yeah,
but like if you tell yourself that it's
like-
like, oh, they're just paper cuts.
and I feel like that's kind of how like mental health is like
Yeah.
going. Like, if you get one thing, it's like, ah, it's fine. And then it starts to pile up.
And then it eventually just gets so bad. But like you
Yeah.
keep trying to convince yourself that you're fine because they're just small things added up.
Right.
But eventually those small things added up like become one big thing. So
Right. So that's it for this
sounds
episode. Thanks for joining us for this episode. See you next time on Fault Lines and Flat Lines.
Thank you.
Next week, we'll be listening to Ellie's episode, which is
yeah.
on the
The Hyatt Regency Museum? No. Hotel?
Collapse, right?
Yeah, it's about a collapse.
Yeah, so tune in for that.
Yep. Thank you.
Case closed.